welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnicky, and as always, I'm here with Matt Stewart and Jess Perkins.
Hello.
Hello. What a pleasure to be here with you, Dave, and Jessica Perkins.
Oh, thank you, Matthew Stewart.
Would it blow?
It's so good.
Would it blow anyone's mind to know that I'm actually technically not called Dave?
Wait, what?
My full name is David.
What?
Does that blow anyone's mind?
Wait, hang on a second. That doesn't make any sense. Why have we been calling you Dave all this time? Where does that come from?
Well,
is that your middle name?
We've got no time to discuss that because, Jess, how does this show work?
Oh, why me? Okay, so this show works. One of the three of us takes a topic often suggested by our listeners. We go away, we research the topic, we bring it back to the other two who listen patiently but also interrupt a fair bit. There's some laughter, sometimes there's tears, that's usually off podcast, and there's friendship along the way. Did I nail that?
That's great.
Oh, big time.
I loved it.
Tears of joy, of course.
Yeah, of course. And we always start with a question. And it is my turn to do the report. And my question to you, Matt and David?
There's no time.
My question is, what event occurred on the 25th of September, 2000?
2000. All right.
Ooh.
Are we doing the Olympics
Well, you've already done
closing
the
ceremony?
Sydney Olympics opening ceremony.
That's right.
Is it the closing
Please.
ceremony?
It is not the closing
Imagine.
ceremony. Yeah, that would be wild.
That is like grand final week. 2000, that was Essendon smashing the Demons. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be talking about Essendon versus... No! Okay, you were on the right kind of track with Olympics.
Okay.
What was sort of one of the biggest events?
Was it Nikki Webster's CD launch? I've been kissing your strawberry kisses.
It was only, a couple of weeks after. She really wanted to capitalise on the buzz.
Yeah, that's good
You gotta
marketing.
be quick.
You got to be. People forget.
All right. What about so one of the big events, is it Cathy Freeman's gold medal?
Boom. Yes, it is.
Ooh. I hope
Oh,
that's
it
not a
is
spoiler.
Olympics.
Look, it's a little bit of a spoiler, but also people probably know.
I've
probably know.
personally never heard of this event, so...
Wow. Well,
I want to say 200 meters. I want to say 400 meters.
Yeah, it's longer.
yes. It was longer than 200.
It's
It
a
was
full
about
track.
double 200. Yeah,
Wow.
It's a lap of the track. It's a lap of the track. But I wanted to talk
That's
a
what I
little
would
bit.
call the event. Who
Lap of the
wins
track?
the lap track?
Track lap. Track lap.
Track lap.
lap's fun. Yeah, that's fun.
Gold medals in the track lap.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this event, but also talk about the person behind the event. Cathy Freeman.
Oh.
Imagine if I knew the name of the person who drew the lines on the track. That'd be sick. I could have made one up. Nobody would know. Anyway, yeah. So I have free choice at the moment, and I was very, very surprised that Cathy Freeman hasn't been suggested by anyone in the hat.
Really?
Oh, my God. Can I get on there right now?
Please do, because I
Type
was a
it
bit
in.
baffled by that. I was like, she was my childhood hero. Surely I'm not alone there. And in doing a bit more research, I definitely was not. So, yeah, I wanted to talk to you a bit about the life and that fateful day in September 2000.
Do you
Cathy
remember the
Freeman.
25th night of September?
Yeah, exactly. That's what the song's about.
I'll be so curious to find out because obviously Cathy Freeman's a legend in Australia. I wonder how well she's known internationally. She would have been quite well known at the time, but I don't know if people 20 years later are still thinking about her every day like I do in other parts of the world.
Think about her every day.
I love Cathy Freeman.
Oh, she's an absolute legend.
She carried the whole nation on her back.
You're not wrong, Matt, but let's not get emotional too
We
early.
do the tears off the pod.
Well, here's something straight off the bat that's going to blow your mind. Her real name is Catherine.
What?
What?
I know. It's like, okay,
Oh my God, it's
what,
like everything is a lie.
what
Yeah,
is going
you think
on?
You know someone.
And then I was like, okay, well, Cathy must be her middle name. But her middle name is Astrid.
Catherine, Cathy.
Because why would we be calling her Cathy otherwise? It's crazy.
Where does that come from?
Where does it come from, David? I don't know.
Gosh.
Catherine Astrid Salome Freeman, born on the 16th of Feb 1973 in Mackay in Queensland. Her mother, Cecilia, is of the Guguyalanji people of far north Queensland, and along with her grandmother was born in the Indigenous community of Palm Island. Her father was born in Wurrabindi and is of the Birigubba people of central Queensland. And her athletic ability seemed to be a genetic blessing. Her father, Norman Freeman, earned the nickname of Twinkle Toes.
Oh, yes. That was on the dance floor, though.
Yeah.
Was that his middle name?
His middle name was Twinkle Toes. Norman Twinkle Toes Freeman.
How funny is someone having both the nickname Twinkle Toes and the real name Norman?
Yeah.
What a combo.
It's a great combo. He followed in his own father's footsteps and played rugby league, and he was known for his speed and agility, hence the nickname Twinkle Toes. Cathy herself said, legend has it that my father and my grandfather were asked to go to a club in England, but because of the way it was, at the time, they weren't allowed. Obviously because her father and grandfather were Indigenous people. And, I'll get into it. She's one of 5 children. She has 3 brothers, Norman, Garth and Gavin, and a sister, Anne-Marie.
Brilliant. That's brilliant. Norman, Garth and Gavin.
Gavin.
Love it.
They are all great comedy names.
The girls really got the best names there. Anne-Marie, Catherine. Yeah, they did well. Anne-Marie had cerebral palsy, spent much of her life in the Baribi Care Facility in Rockhampton. And Cathy had her first running race at the age of 5, and she fell in love with the sport.
First running race, Jess. So
Yes.
you've specified running race. Was she racing cars prior to this?
Yes, she was, yes.
And
Bit of
winning.
a spoiler there, but yes, she was a junior go-kart and then full-on car racing
Wow,
champion.
full-on cars.
Full-on cars. She couldn't reach the pedals, but yeah, pretty
Couple of
impressive.
bricks.
Did you do a couple of track
Phone
laps?
But yeah, so she fell in love with running really early on. It definitely helped that she won her first race, but people started to notice her natural ability from a young age. There's like an interview with one of the primary school teachers who was like, holy shit, this kid she's got something and we've got to help her get there, which is pretty cool.
And can you just imagine how quick she would have been? Like, obviously, she's very, very fast, the best in the world at one point. But when you're in primary school and there's like the quickest kid in your school and you're like, oh my God, they're so fast. But on the world stage, they're like the 15th or 20th thousandth fastest person in the world.
Of course,
but she's
yeah.
going to be the fastest in the world.
Yeah.
Is there any more deflating moment than seeing the fastest kid at your school get flogged by the fastest kid of another school?
Oh,
Brutal.
He didn't even make
the
the
whole
top
world
5.
tumbles down.
One time in primary school, lining up to do the 100 metres, one girl said within earshot of me, oh, shit, I'm against Jess, because she knew she didn't have a fucking chance.
That's great.
And then I ran against Larissa, who absolutely smoked me. So,
I think
I know
that
how
other
it
girl
feels.
got in your head.
well, no, I beat her, just could never beat Larissa.
oh, shit, I'm
too
against
fast.
Larissa.
She's just too fast. I wonder what she's doing now.
Everyone turned to the girl next to him and said the same thing. Oh, no.
Oh, but I just heard that one thing and was like, yeah, damn straight.
Actually made you run faster.
Yeah. Cathy's parents, Cecilia and Norman, split up in 1978 when she was 5 years old, and a few years later, her mother married a man named Bruce Barber. This is a
Bruce,
quote.
another cracking
Bruce
name.
Barber. How good is that?
Bruce Barber. Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, he
Put it
uses
there.
his full name. Yeah.
Bruce Barber, how do you bloody do? There's a quote from Cathy. She says, I was 10 when my family and I moved from Mackay to a place named Hughenden in the desert region of far northwest Queensland. The vast desert land with its wide open skies and incredible red land was another perfect setting to cultivate my love of running. Bruce wanted to encourage his stepdaughter to pursue her athletic dreams and became her very first coach, despite not knowing that much about athletics himself. But he just wanted to help. He wanted to be supportive.
Run quicker.
On you go.
Faster.
Yeah.
That's good, but even faster. Do it
If
again
you-
faster, though.
That fast run you just did, do you reckon you could do that ever so slightly faster? Go have a crack.
Fantastic.
Maybe next time you could maybe try and beat Alyssa. I don't know.
Oh,
Good
Give it a
luck.
go.
good fucking luck.
Yeah, good luck, mate.
He quickly realised Cathy's ability was a bit beyond his help, but nonetheless, by her
You're
early
beyond
teens,
help.
she had
You're
a
beyond help.
I don't know how to do it.
I told her to go faster.
And she did, and
out of
now it's like,
ideas.
where do we go from there? Nonetheless, by her early teens, she had a collection of regional and national titles, having competed in the 100 metres, 200 metres, high jump, and long jump. Just
And that was
getting
just in
amongst
drag
it.
racing. What about running?
I'm getting to it. You got to get to know a person first. She looked at those cars one day and said, I reckon I could run pretty quick too.
I reckon I would watch like underage drag racing. 8-year-olds having
Would
a
you
go.
watch like adults doing it?
No, boring. They got long legs.
I'd also watch high jump in a car. That would be sick.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Just keep raising
Okay,
that bar.
great.
I'll clear that. I'll clear that. I'll clear.
You've
Do a Fosby
You've
flop,
gone
is that what it's
from-
called?
a younger driver racing cars to cars doing high jump.
Yes.
The next logical
I
step.
thought there was no bad ideas here, man. I thought this was a safe place.
I thought that too.
Tell me you would. Just tell me you wouldn't watch it. Tell me you wouldn't watch it if that was an option.
Yeah. Would you watch that? Would you say, oh, yawn, no thanks, I'll go to bed?
ESPN
Oh,
car high jump. Come on, you're not turning that off.
Come
I'd watch the
on.
inaugural one for sure. I think it would get old.
The first and last.
There's no driver in it. They just put a brick on the accelerator. No humans get hurt, but the cars are fucked.
Why don't you get kids to drive the cars? Now I'm watching.
Okay. Put a little helmet on and they'll be right. Cathy's brother Norman was also a gifted runner, and the siblings trained together and were both recipients of sporting scholarships to Kurulbine International School in 1987, where Cathy was coached professionally by Romanian Mike Danila, who later became a key influence throughout her career. He provided a strict training regimen for the young athlete. The following year, she was awarded a scholarship to an exclusive girls' school called Fairholme College in Toowoomba. And in a competition in 1989, she ran 11.67 seconds in the 100 metres. The world record is 10.49. So she's done it in 11.67. But it's pretty fast. So by
Wow.
15, she's 1.18 seconds off the world record.
Is that the current at the time or the current now?
I think that's still the record.
Wow.
That was set by American Florence Griffith Joyner.
Oh yeah, she's had it for decades.
And she also has the second and third fastest times.
I've never tried, I don't think, but I reckon I could probably go about that fast.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Hmm.
If we get Barry Barber to help coach me,
Bruce?
Bruce, even better.
Bruce! So yeah, she's 15. She's already incredibly fast. And like I said before, by her early teens, she had regional and national titles, and her coach, Danila, began to think about entering her in the Commonwealth Games trials in Sydney. She was selected as a member of Australia's 4x100 relay team for the 1990 Commonwealth Games in Auckland. Her teammates were Monique Dunstan, Cathy Sambell, and Kerry Johnson, and with a time of 43.87 seconds, they won the gold medal. Cathy was the first ever Aboriginal Commonwealth Game gold medalist and one of the youngest Commonwealth Games gold medalists as well. She was 16 years old.
Whoa. That's amazing. They were the real glory days of Commonwealth Games back when Australia was real good at them.
I thought we do it. No, we do okay in Commonwealth Games because the Americans aren't there.
It used to definitely be true, but then the UK started putting money into it.
Yeah.
And then we're like, no.
Shit. Yeah, you're right. The 90s into the early 2000s were a really good year for us with athletics, swimming.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, we were good. I mean, we've always been pretty average at basketball, but
I just saw the world rankings for the men's. We're third in the world.
yeah.
UK is 41st.
Wow.
Someone on the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates group posted it. They said, they're an English guy, and he's like, I've just been getting into basketball, and now I realise that we're really awful at it. And he
There's no reason not to get into it. It's a great game.
Yeah, it's pretty. And
And
top 41. Pretty good.
That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
it's not bad.
I think, and as well, wouldn't it be fun to be British and be an underdog in something?
Great point. They should try it.
Yeah, give it a go.
Yeah.
And just looking up here, the women's team are currently ranked number 2, Australians.
All right.
Oh, and Australian women's basketball's always been great. The Opals, have they had an Olympic gold yet? But they've been real close. The men's are always out of the medals, but the women's team wins medals most Olympics, I think.
Yeah, I definitely remember silver in Athens. So anyway, first ever
Is
Aboriginal...
this an episode about basketball, sorry, Jess?
Oh, God, I wish. No, I don't. I love Cathy Freeman so much. So first ever Aboriginal Commonwealth Games gold medalist, and she's 16 years old.
What were you doing when you were 16, Jess? Winning Commonwealth awards?
Oh, bloody giving it a go. Was running, doing a high jump.
In a car?
At school? Not in a car. I'm old school. So that was 1990. That was a pretty big year for Cathy. She also won the 200 metres at the Australian National Championships and represented Australia at the World Junior Athletic Championships in Bulgaria, placing 5th in the 200 metres and 5th in the 4x100 as well. That same year, she was named Young Australian of the Year, only the second Aboriginal youth to be recognised for the distinction. The first was Mark Ella in 1982. In her speech, Cathy said she ran for Australians and in particular the Aboriginal people. Her mother, Cecilia, said in an interview that it meant an awful lot to young Aboriginal people to see Cathy be named Young Australian of the Year. She said, I think it will make them stand up and say, if she can do it, I can too. And Cathy herself talks about feeling quite self-conscious and shy about the colour of her skin as she was growing up. She remembers being confused by why people didn't smile back at her in the street. And she recalls winning a race as a 10-year-old and not being given the trophy, apparently because she was black. Didn't give her the trophy.
What the fuck?
Yeah. This is in the 70s. This is not that long ago. It's completely fucked. And I think it's like a great opportunity and very important to talk about it because I think something that particularly old white people struggle to understand is how important representation is. You know, that we throw around the phrase, you can't be what you can't see. But as white people, we can't really understand that because we're everywhere. And that's sort of, I'm generalising there as well. It's like white cis people or white able-bodied people. When you don't fit that mould, you don't see yourself represented anywhere. You're not in books or film or anything like that. And we're obviously getting a lot better at that, but it's still pretty average. So I think it's huge because Cathy's, of course, not the first Aboriginal person to do something impressive or of note, but she's this young, strong, talented woman. She's driven and focused, and she's not just setting an example for young Indigenous kids, but throughout her whole career, she's being celebrated and cheered on by all Australians, which is incredibly important for the young Indigenous kids to see. So it's massive, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger as her career progresses. So 1990 is also a difficult year for the family because Cathy's older sister Anne-Marie passed away. In every doco or interview I've seen, Cathy talks about how much her sister inspired her. She credits Anne-Marie with being the reason she is who she is. Growing up with her gave Cathy a great appreciation for what she could do and to appreciate the things that you've been given. And there's a nice part in a documentary that came out last year. It's called Freeman, where her mum, Cecilia, says she ran for her sister. That's what drove her to succeed. So it's pretty amazing too. The next couple of years were busy for Cathy. She competed in her second World Junior Championships in Seoul in South Korea. She competed only in the 200 metres, winning the silver medal. And also in 92, she participated in her first Olympic Games in Barcelona.
Sorry, Jess. Barcelona.
I'm so sorry. I always butcher that one. Barcelona. She made it to the second heat in the 400 metres, which at the time was looking like it was going to be her specialty event, and finished in 7th place as part of the women's 4x100 relay team. So she kind of continues to do the 200 and the 4x100 throughout her career, but 400's really her specialty. Her breakout year happened in 1994 when she entered into the world's elite for the first time. And what I mean by that is she took 1.3 seconds from her 400-metre personal best, achieving 50.04 seconds. She set all-time personal bests in the 100 metres. 100 metres, her PB was 11.24, and her 200 metres best was 22.25, which is very fast.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. She's already done the first quarter. 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6. We know the 6
Halfway.
to 8 seconds are a lot faster. 7, 8, 9 Mississippi, 10 Mississippi. And that goes all the way through to 22.78 Mississippis.
Yeah.
And she's done.
She's done. It's over. Done.
And I'm still trying to, go through the states of America on the starting line, which is my pre-game routine. Sort of superstition of mine. I always
Really?
get
Because I
stuck
do
on
the
Mississippi.
periodic table. Competing at the 1994 Commonwealth Games in Canada, she once again ran as part of the 4x100 relay, winning silver. The team had originally finished first, but were later disqualified and knocked back to silver after Freeman obstructed the Nigerian runner. So they got knocked back. I thought, if you're disqualified for anything, you're out, but they just got knocked back to silver. Very interesting.
What did she do to obstruct?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. It just said that she obstructed them. I'm not entirely sure how.
I wonder if it was
It probably it depends on the rules maybe of each race, but I know like when I used to watch horse racing a bit, if there was a protest, it wouldn't necessarily rule out the horse who infringed. It would just they'd sort of figure out where in the field that they should be shuffled to instead.
Yeah, interesting. Not sure. If you step out of your lane in the 4x100, you're usually disqualified. I've never really seen it that they just drop back a notch, but I'm absolutely not an expert here. I don't know why I'm fighting with the information I have. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, as long as it was helpful that I brought up a vague memory of horse racing.
And I'm talking about when I did inter-school 4x100 relay. I assume similar rules to Olympics.
Similar rules.
Or Commonwealth Games or whatever. She won both gold in both the 200-metre and 400-metre, the first woman to do so in the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah, right.
So she got gold in 2 and 4, but she caused controversy within the Australian Commonwealth team with her post-race celebration by carrying both the Australian flag and the Aboriginal flag.
Wait, so I remember vaguely there was controversy about that. I thought that was in Sydney. Where was that?
This is in 94 in Canada.
It just seems like such a bizarre thing to get upset about.
I know. It was seen as an act of defiance and improper to associate the Aboriginal flag and the Australian flag together.
Very, very strange.
Can you guess the age and skin colour of the men who are protesting this?
Oh, do you remember any of the names?
No, it was
Dick Pound involved?
Fuck, what was his name? One of them was he was like the head of the Commonwealth team. I don't know. But it was kind of heartening. I was very annoyed watching it. But then there was vox pops done by, the news interviewing just regular Australians who were all going, I don't see the big deal. It makes a lot of sense. She should have both. So I was like, oh, okay, at least it's not everybody. But the media, of course, picked it up. Cathy was being interviewed one time, as in, those kind of interviews, I say in inverted commas, when somebody's just trying to walk somewhere and there's just media all around them, Cathy, answer these questions.
Cathy, thanks for coming to our interview. I'm going to
I'm trying to get to the car. Yeah. But she said, with all due respect, I don't care. I'm here to run and that's all I'm going to do. And that is exactly what she did. All throughout her career, her running career, all she wanted to do was run. She would do state comps and things that she probably didn't have to do anymore because she just loved to run and she loved to race. In 1996, she ran the Stall Gift. For international listeners or Aussies who aren't familiar, the Stall Gift is held in a town called Stall. It's about 240 k's west-northwest of Melbourne. It's been held in all but 5 years since 1878. It's a very old and very famous and prestigious foot race. It's run on grass, and athletes are handicapped according to form and ability and start off at varying marks along the track. So when she went to run it, she was starting 42 metres behind the rest of the runners.
She actually started in Melbourne.
Yeah. She's 42 metres back of a 400-metre race.
She watched some of the other competitors on the train while she was running to the... She had to start 3 weeks early.
Yeah, it was incredible. Yeah. An amazing achievement. The race is on YouTube. It is actually an incredible watch. So 200 metres in, she's still quite far behind the rest of the racers. It looks like she can't make up the distance. But then she just closes the gap. It's so subtle and quick, and she's just suddenly right behind them. And then she's passing them, and one of the other runners, Lewis, elbows her. But Cathy doesn't even flinch and just keeps going. And in like the last 50 metres, she just overtakes them all and wins. With a 42-metre handicap, she wins.
I've seen that race a few times. It's so fun to watch someone just swoop a field like that. Well, it just looks like they're on a travelator.
Yeah, just yeah, it's incredible. She has an amazing running style, and she's obviously very, very quick. By the 1996 Olympics, Cathy was seen as the biggest challenger to French runner Marie-Josée Péric, who Cathy described as the sort of woman who struck fear in the hearts of most athletes.
Kind of like you to Ellie or whoever.
Larissa. She was this statuesque, striking, powerful woman. She was a very intimidating athlete, and one that Cathy was determined to beat. And just to paint you a picture, Péric is 5'10" or 1.8 meters tall. She's lean but very, very muscular, a classic sprinter body but with extra definition. She's just...
Sorry, Jess, did you just cut out for a second there? Were you describing me or... Just a little joke there. She sounds like she's built for the race.
Yeah, she's this incredible, really statuesque, amazing. Cathy is 5'5", 20 centimetres shorter, also very lean, just much smaller and kind of unassuming. She's still very got great muscle definition, but I feel like if you just saw Cathy Freeman walking down the street and you didn't know she was Cathy Freeman, you wouldn't think she was the elite athlete that she is.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like if you saw Péric, you'd be like, oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure what sport you do, but you're incredible at it. So at the 95 World Championships a year prior, Cathy had run the wrong race, in her coach's words. She'd started too fast, she'd run out of steam, and in the last 100 metres, she'd fallen from second place to about fifth. So she was determined not to make that same mistake again. Péric had run a time of 48.86. So Cathy Freeman wrote a big note for herself that said 48.6. That's what she was going to aim for. She goes, all right, 95, you did 48.86. I'm going to do 48.6. So at the 400-metre final, Cathy's on her tail, and Péric was challenged in a way that she hadn't been for a very long time. And while Cathy didn't beat her, she came in second and wiped a full second off her own personal best.
Ooh.
And pushed Péric to an Olympic record of 48.65.
Whoa, that would have been an awesome race to watch live.
The race is amazing. I've seen it, and there's such a height difference in them, and Péric's stride is so long because she's got such long legs, but Cathy is sort of like long legs, short torso. So she's kind of, they look size-wise so different to each other, but she's really she's so close to her, and they're both really pushing. It's amazing to watch. And Cathy says that Péric was very inspiring. She says, she gave me permission to be bold with my goals, which is really nice. They raced
literally?
Yeah.
Péric went up to her,
hey.
I grant you permission for this.
Cathy said, thank you. Cathy did eventually beat Péric at a Grand Prix race in Belgium.
Car racing again.
Yes. You got to do something in the off-season.
She got into the F1 car, challenged her to a race.
How crazy is this? Over the next 4 years, between 96 and 2000, Cathy wins 41 out of 42 races.
Whoa.
And the one that she lost was only due to injury. 41 out of 42 races. She's unstoppable.
That is a hot streak.
Yeah. By 1998, she's one of the most famous people in Australia. She's awarded Australian of the Year, I believe the only person to be both Young Australian and Australian of the Year.
Oh, I hope she gets Old Australian of the Year down the track.
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
Get the trifecta.
Elderly Australian of the Year. The pressure was already being put on her about the upcoming 2000 Olympics. Newspaper headlines said, hope of a nation rests on Freeman's shoulders.
Bit of pressure.
Yeah. I wasn't joking before when I said the whole country was on her back.
It was
so much pressure.
The pressure was insane. By 99, she was the first woman ever to win back-to-back world championships in the 400 metres. And meanwhile, Péric had been struggling with ill health for a few years, but made a comeback just in time for the 2000 Olympics.
Oh, she's back.
She's back. And this is what this has all been leading up to, the 2000 Olympic Games. So September 15, 2000, the opening ceremony.
Oh, tell me more.
If people want a more in-depth look at that,
I've
what
done a
episode
whole
could they go
report.
back to?
Nearly 6 years ago.
Wow. Shout out to the horse whisperers out there. Doing a good job.
Yes. Wow,
Remember
good
that?
memory. Yeah, I did a whole thing on the opening ceremony. It was a pretty formative event in my childhood, so it was very close to my heart.
Love it.
For the first time in recent Olympic history, the opening ceremony concluded with the lighting of the Olympic cauldron. And while Tina Arena and the Sydney Children's Choir and the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra performed The Flame, we see Australian Olympic gold medalist Herb Elliott with the torch, bringing it towards the stadium. Then, to celebrate 100 years of women's participation in the Olympics, we see the torch pass to a series of Australian champions, and the crowd is going absolutely wild because they don't know who it's going to be. And these are like cream of the crop. These are like big stars in Australian sport. And I talked about this on the opening ceremony episode, but it's worth mentioning again. So first off is Betty Cuthbert, a 4-time gold medal runner who had MS, so was being pushed in a wheelchair by Raylene Boyle, 3-time silver medalist. They passed
Betty,
it on.
also a fantastic name.
Betty, incredible. They pass it on to Dawn Fraser, 4 gold and 4 silver medals, and one of Australia's most famous swimmers. Next is Shirley Strickland, who won more Olympic medals than any other Australian in running sports. She got 3 bronze, 3 gold, and 1 silver. Then it's handed to Shane Gould, a swimmer who won 3 gold, a silver, and a bronze, all at the 72 Olympics.
Amazing.
She did 1 Olympics and retired at 17. What a way to do it. Then Debbie Flintoff-King, who runs through the athletes who are gathered in the middle of the stadium, and Debbie runs the torch to the base of a long set of stairs that lead to the cauldron, where Cathy Freeman is standing. So it's a pretty big honour that she's been chosen to light the cauldron, especially as they sort of celebrate these Australian legends of sport. It's kind of like them saying, here's another legend, which is pretty sick.
Yes, they're literally passing the torch.
Yeah.
Oh, I
That is-
love that symbolism.
Yeah, they must have been thinking about that, but that is amazing because you're like talking about the pressure on her.
Yeah.
Now they're going, we're putting you already amongst this group of famous Australian gold medal winners.
Yeah.
You aren't that yet, but we expect to look back on this and see you as fitting in their company.
Exactly.
Which is how it played out. But geez, it's just another chunk of pressure on her back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes athletes don't even go to the opening ceremony because they're still in training or their events coming up, so they don't want to even go out, let alone the rehearsals, the pressure of this. Like, imagine, it's not just a party. You're doing a job out there.
Yeah, the closing ceremony probably has a bit more of a relief kind of party feel for them.
Yeah.
But this one, especially if you're one of the first events to happen, you might be I was going to say performing. You might be competing the next day.
La, la,
yeah,
la.
you're probably not going to go. You're probably doing your vocal warm-ups
warming
or
up
something.
the pipes, getting ready out there.
When you said Tina Arena sang The Flame, is that covering the Cheap Trick song or is that a different song?
It's a different
Surely
one.
a different song.
Yeah, they write originals for the opening ceremony, surely.
Fuck, that would have been funny though.
So, yeah, as it's announced that it's Cathy Freeman, the crowd goes absolutely batshit, as does 10-year-old Jess watching at home.
Also,
Loses her little mind.
10-year-old Dave head in a bucket because I had gastro that night. I was cheering. I was cheering from within my bucket.
Yeah,
Oh, God. Oh, Cathy, do it for me.
God. Maggots up. Do it for me, Cathy. Matt, what was 110-year-old you up to that night?
I was probably wearing a top hat somewhere.
Yeah, throwing up in it.
No, I remember I was at a house party that night and it was pretty loose.
Yeah.
I imagine I can't remember it super well, but I remember there was a fight there and
What?
yeah.
That was a fight.
Fight at the party.
At the party.
Oh.
Everyone in top hat, a pretty sophisticated party. As
I
far
say
as
good, sir.
15-year-olds or whatever
everyone
fighting.
Everyone had their fists up like this, sort of.
Put up your dukes.
Put them up.
I challenge you to a duel.
Huh?
Yeah, we're all in our 140s, 150s.
That's right. Demanding your satisfaction.
That's right. A lot of gloves were thrown onto the ground. Gauntlets.
Throw
as
it
well.
down.
So, yeah, a huge moment, a lot of pressure. She runs up the stairs, steps into the middle of a pool of water where she bends down and lights a ring of fire around herself.
And Johnny Cash came out at this point.
The cauldron then rose out of the water above her head, and it was transported up a long waterfall where it finally rested on a tall silver pedestal above the stadium, and that's where it stayed for the entire Olympics. So before she'd even run a race, she was the star of the Olympics. But with that came pressure, and not only on her, but anyone who might be a threat to her medal chances. Anyone like Marie-Josée Pérec, perhaps.
Oh, dear.
Upon her arrival in Sydney, she was met with insane media attention and pressure. She claimed that a man gained access to her apartment building and verbally abused her.
Jesus.
Although this was denied by management of the apartments. She said the pressure from the media was like nothing she'd experienced before, and that the only pressure athletes like her should have to deal with is the pressure of the competition.
Are they saying that she made up the fact that a man came and yelled at her?
Or are they
that fucking
saying
ridiculous?
there wasn't abuse? They were praising her. I heard it. They were saying, "Go, Marie. Go, Marie."
Go.
That is such a strange thing.
I know. It's very odd. And about 24 hours before the 400-metre competition began, Pérec left Sydney. The media, of course, were very kind about it.
Oh, she left Sydney. Was she handicapping herself? She running from Melbourne?
I'm going to start from Melbourne. I'll see you at the finish line. No, they claimed she knew she couldn't beat Cathy, so she chickened out. Literally, one newspaper headline said, "Mademoiselle let chicken."
Oh.
Ridiculous. And even in interviews in this documentary that happened from last year, so almost 20 years later, the people being interviewed were kind of like, yeah, she just couldn't hack it. And it's like, okay, she hasn't run or she hasn't competed for 4 years due to ill health. And I'm not sure what sort of health issues she was having, but she was unwell. And so then she comes back and she's treated this way and she's already pretty vulnerable, and the psychology of sport is incredibly important, and she hasn't got that sort of thick skin because she hasn't been competing for 4 years and she's been pretty unwell. She's been treated incredibly badly. Do you blame her for backing out? I don't blame her.
Isn't she already an Olympic gold medalist? I mean, what has she got to prove to these people?
Exactly. But people are like, oh, she just, wanted to go out on top. She knew she couldn't win the race. So, just go out while you're a gold medalist. And it's like, she's a human being.
Yeah, you spend 4 years coming back. I doubt you're just going to pull out the last second. Just
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
What was it? So I missed it. What was her reasoning for pulling out?
Well, she didn't really give a reason, but years later she was quoted as saying, the 400 metres in Sydney was not a race against Cathy Freeman. It was a race against an entire nation which had its problems. I was only prepared for a 400-metre race.
Right. So it wasn't like an injury or something. But she was basically hounded out of it by the media.
Yeah.
That is
because the media wanted Cathy to win. They didn't want Pérec to win. And so they were assholes to her. And then even now kind of go, weak. It's like, nah, it's insane.
Yeah, well, as we discovered last week with the Steve Bartman incident, sport can drive people absolutely wild.
Yeah, that's
true. People act very irrationally. And I'm talking about the media here, not her. The way that people and, the public, people breaking into her house to put her off, that's just not okay.
Yeah, exactly right. And then that sort of being downplayed. Like, nah. But even as we're seeing more recently, and I mean, this will date this podcast a little bit, but with Naomi Osaka, saying she doesn't want to do media appearances, and the media be going absolutely fucking crazy about that, as if that's the most important part of tennis. And it's like, no, they're people. Sport's their job, but they're a human being. So, yeah, I definitely feel for Marie-Josée Pérec. I've probably been saying her name wrong this entire time.
It's so funny. I don't remember her at all.
No, I know. Me either. I didn't
remember
know
that
any of this
storyline or anything. No. Storyline, but
But it wasn't really shown to us because it was just all about Cathy. I mean, it was I don't know.
But you were saying front pages of the page. Was it, sat calling her a chicken and stuff? I just don't remember any of that, which feels like that was obviously a big story at the time.
Yeah, but I really wasn't reading the paper at 10, so I probably didn't see a lot of that.
And I was very focused on my studies, obviously. So
very focused.
So, it comes down to Monday, the 25th of September, 2000. 23 TV cameras, which doesn't seem like that much, but at the time they're like 23 cameras. Several hundred journalists.
720p.
I got 23 cameras on me right now. GoPros.
This is before
Imagine taking
smartphones, guys.
a smartphone back to the year 2000 and blowing everyone's minds.
Fucking crazy.
This goes in my pocket. They wouldn't know what to do.
What's a pocket?
They'd look at you like some sort of alien.
What are you
Pocket in your
talking about?
pants? What's going on?
You're crazy.
Surely you need some sort of suitcase to take that around with.
There's over 110,000 people in the stands, millions of people tuning in around the world. It said in one news report, billions, and I was like, that can't be billions, but a lot of people
Trillions.
tuned in
surely.
to watch the race that was called the Race of Our Lives.
Like sands through the hourglass.
This is the race of our lives. As the 400-metre women's finalists walked out onto the track, the crowd is deafening. It is so loud in the stadium. Cathy said her main concern was controlling her emotions. She said, I become very switched on and aggressive. And I've done it before in a race where I've just really gone too hard too early and not had the strength to come home in the last 100. So she and her coach, Peter Fortune, incredible name.
Oh, my goodness. Is that a real name?
Yeah, I'd want him. I'd want him to coach me.
Depending on what his middle name is it Good Fortune or Peter Bad Fortune? Because that changes everything.
It's Peter Misfortune. They had a plan which he'd written down on a little piece of paper. Here's that plan.
If his middle name was Wheel of, then I'm involved.
Peter Wheel of Fortune. Matt, I'm trying to tell you how to win a 400-metre
Okay,
race.
I should be listening.
And he's
Stick to this plan
written it down on...
and you'll win.
Is
I've written it on a little bit of paper.
Is this on a scrap of paper?
Yeah.
I hope it's in a museum now, that scrap.
So here's a plan. If anybody out there wants to win 400 metres, here's what you do.
Okay.
Fast start for 50 metres, no longer.
Okay.
Then you move from very fast to fast relaxed.
Okay.
Great. I'm that. I think I'm that all the
Yeah,
time. That's my
you all
natural
the time.
state.
But you do that until the 200-metre point. Then you pick up on the bend a little to make sure of your position because the bend, you guys, it's slower. So you don't want to slow down too much. You pick up on the bend.
Pick up on the bend.
Then from 120 metres to go, you go hard and you hold form until the finish line. That is how you win a 400-metre.
That's how I would have done it too.
Yeah, agreed.
Step 4, celebrate.
Celebrate. I wasn't good at like the 200 or 400 metres because I didn't know how to like not go 100%. I was like,
Right.
I'm running or I'm not. What do you want from me? That's why 100 metres was my event. So, at the starting blocks, she took off her tracksuit and revealed that underneath she was wearing a green, gold and silver Nike Swift suit, that famous suit.
These days you'd call it a morph suit.
It's called a Swift suit at the time. They'd been developing it for a really long time and they weren't even sure if she was going to wear it for the race. Like one of the Nike executives is interviewed in the documentary and when she like took off her jumper, he was like, oh, she's wearing it.
That's cool. What a reveal.
Did he say that to his friend in the crowd? Look, she's wearing
it. He's like, what?
Andy Serkis ended up wearing one of those when he portrayed Schmeagol in The Lord of the Rings.
for extra speed.
Extra speed. Had balls on it extra as well. She didn't run with balls on it though.
No, that would have slowed down the aerodynamics.
Yeah. Too much drag on them balls. Problem I often face when I'm running.
US sprinter Michael Johnson, whose race was up after Cathy's, said that they were supposed to stay in that little walkway underneath the stadium until their allotted race time, but all 8 runners of his race came out just to watch Cathy's race.
Oh, sick.
It was this huge event.
Just the atmosphere would have been electric. Michael Johnson, I was wondering if that was around his time. He was the guy with the golden shoes. Twinkle toes, you might call it.
His race was up next, and I think I talk about it a bit later, but his race was delayed by ages because of the celebrations. Spoilers.
Oh.
From the very beginning of the race, the second her feet leave the blocks, everything is going to plan. She describes it as feeling like she's barely making contact with the ground.
Oh, that doesn't
feels
sound good.
Yeah.
She's floating. Is that legal?
legal?
Is that legal? Come back,
You're allowed to do
Cathy.
that?
Get down. down.
She's actually on a Segway.
She went 400 meters up.
But she didn't fasten any of the others.
So she did it in 11 seconds. So, wow.
Her body feels good. She feels strong. And her coach said she looked so relaxed that it looked like she was jogging down the track. So everything's going well. As the runners come around the bend, Cathy is in third position. People watching, journalists, coaches, everyone has a moment where they think it's all over. She hasn't done it. They've come around the last bend and she's like slipping behind. Cathy, however, is in complete control. She talks about reading other people and paying attention to how they're running and how they're competing. And with 120 metres to go, she's waiting. She's waiting for someone to challenge, someone to push. She's just sitting back and waiting. She talks about how Lorraine Graham from Jamaica is leading, but Cathy says she could tell Lorraine didn't think she could win it. Wow. So with 80 metres to go, 80 metres to go.
She's really waiting back at this point.
She's really
for about 80 minutes.
80 metres to go, Cathy strikes. In the doco, she says, "My ancestors were the first people to walk on this land. It's a really powerful force. Those girls were always going to have to come up against my ancestors." So she's really pulling from her connection. 80 metres to go, watching it looks like it's just in the space of a few strides she's pulled out in front. It's so quick how she just sort of goes, "Oh, okay, none of you are going to push? I will." So she continues to power through, almost like she's gliding. She's so fast, and she crosses the finish line at a time of 49.11 seconds. Lorraine Graham behind her at 49.58. She's fucking done it!
Yes, Cathy.
Huge surprise for you guys, I'm sure. Most people listening had no idea based on Matt's answer to the question at the start. They had no clue this is where we were going.
How about at the start?
I really built up the story.
You beat Matt saying what colour medal it is. So, when Cathy Freeman won a beep medal,
beep.
Could be anything. Could be anything.
Yes. She medals, though.
Yeah.
She medals.
Top 3,
the
but
medler.
What one is it?
Which one? Cathy Freeman was only the second Australian Aboriginal Olympic champion. The first was Nova Peris, who had won for hockey 4 years earlier in Atlanta. She's only the second Aboriginal Australian. Isn't that crazy? And this is in 2000. After the race, Freeman took a victory lap carrying both the Aboriginal and Australian flags. And, yeah, like I said before, the victory lap took so long that it delayed the next race by several minutes. But no one cared because it was this huge, monumental moment in not only Australian sporting history but also just a big cultural moment for Australians as well. So absolutely massive. And, yeah, it's definitely worth watching some of her races. There'll be links in the description of this episode because she's a really, really amazing runner. She didn't compete in 2001. In 2002, she returned to the track to compete as a member of Australia's victorious 4x400 metre relay at the Commonwealth Games. And it was during this year that Cathy noticed that the drive to win, the real fire within her, it wasn't there anymore. So she sort of decided it was time to walk away. She didn't have the drive.
Yeah, right.
And in 2003, she announced her retirement from racing. She was 30 years old.
Oh, my goodness. Have I missed my opportunity?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to say yes. You're done.
What? Wait, what opportunity do you mean? To do what?
To set the world record for the highest jump in a car.
No, you have not. You have not missed the opportunity at all.
Thank you.
So there you go. I believe in you. I haven't really mentioned much about her personal life, but just briefly, since retiring from athletics, she's become involved in a range of community and charitable activities. She was an ambassador of the Australian Indigenous Education Foundation until 2012. Between 1999 and 2003, she was married to Alexander Sandy Bodecker, incredible name, Sandy Bodecker. He was a Nike executive, but yeah, they split up in 2003. In 2007, she founded the Cathy Freeman Foundation, and the foundation works with 4 remote Indigenous communities to close the gap in education between Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australian children by offering incentives for kids to attend school, and they've had a massive impact in those communities as well. In 2009, she married stockbroker James Murch, and they have 1 child together, a daughter named Ruby, who was born in 2011. And finally, just a couple of I guess like her awards, recognitions. Obviously, like I mentioned before, Australian of the Year in 1998. She won the Australian Sports Medal in 2000. She was given an Order of Australia medal in 2001. She received the Olympic Order. She won the Deadly Awards 2003 for Female Sports Person of the Year. She was inducted into the Sport Australia Hall of Fame in 2005 and the Queensland Sport Hall of Fame in 2009. And so, yeah, her main kind of thing now is working with the Cathy Freeman Foundation and working with Indigenous communities, in closing that gap with kids to be better educated, which is absolutely massive.
Did you earlier you mentioned that in one of the races she closed the gap? Was that intentional?
It wasn't intentional, no. I just didn't know how else to, I guess, describe what she had done there. But no, but yes, it was intentional and clever.
Like we talked about on last week's episode, that famous, not quite winning Olympic anthem, "Put a Gap in Them."
That was in my head all
Go,
weekend.
you good thing. Go. Is that one?
Yeah.
I had it. It's going to be in there for days again now.
It might have been even called "Go You Good Thing." Go you good thing.
Good
Put
thing.
a gap in them.
Go,
Go you good thing. Go.
thing. Go. It's in there now.
Classic.
But yeah, that is my report on Cathy Freeman.
Fantastic.
Great work.
Great
Great
report.
Australian.
So glad to get a bit of a refresher on that. A lot of stuff I didn't remember. It's just kind of a shame that the whole thing with Peric. What a bummer that is. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I wonder what Cathy Freeman thinks about her not being there. Would it have been, if she beat Peric, that would have been an even greater moment, perhaps. Or it didn't feel like it affected it. I mean, but yeah, it's just such a shame.
She talked a little bit about it, and yeah, it was that sort of thing that there was even a clip, and I mean, it's a documentary about Cathy Freeman, so obviously it's going to be favourable towards her, but there's when it's talking about, Peric and her experience with the media, it sort of goes to a press conference with Cathy Freeman as well, and she says, like, she's just there to have a good time, and she doesn't want too much pressure. And then she says, I hope you're treating Marie with the respect that she is due.
Right.
So they had a lot of respect for each other. Well, Cathy definitely had a lot of respect for Peric. I think maybe after that incident, Peric, I don't know how she felt about Cathy Freeman afterwards. In an interview, there was something like, what would you say to Cathy Freeman now? And she was like, nothing.
Huh.
But it's not Cathy Freeman's fault that the Australian media were hounding her so much, So it's a bit tricky there. But, yeah, she sort of talks about it like it would have been great. It was sort of what she was working towards was to – she's going, if I want to be the best, I have to beat the best.
Yeah.
And she was working towards Peric's, times and working towards beating her, and she didn't get to. And she's like, and now that race never happened and it will never happen.
Right. Yeah,
you don't think they'll organise a rematch?
Oh,
That'd be good.
25-year anniversary.
So good.
In the Masters comp.
Good.
That'd be pretty sick. It is like, I mean, it's like the media was so full on to both of them, but one of them in such a negative way. But I imagine both would have made it harder though. Like,
of course,
the pressure on Cathy Freeman to win would have been, a lot of people would have crumpled under that, I'd say.
Absolutely.
Not that
I would.
Obviously the negative stuff would have been worse. I don't think anyone was yelling positive things at Cathy after breaking into her house, but maybe they were.
Well, according to management, they were, so.
Yeah, they actually just left her flowers and asked her if she needed anything. And so they were very nice about it. Anyway, but yeah, that is my report.
Well, now it's time for everyone's favourite section of the show. The fact, quote, or question section, but really it's more of a whole second half of the episode where we thank our great supporters and, we let our listeners get to know us a little bit better because...
That's right. We break down that curtain.
Exactly. Some of our great supporters get to ask us a question, give us a fact, or tell us a quote in this section called Fact, Quote, or Question, which has a little jingle that goes something a little like this.
Fact, quote, or question.
and he never forgets the ding, which is important. Now, the way this works is you get involved at the Sydney Scheinberg level of our Patreon, and you can do that by going to patreon.com/dogoon or dogoonpod.com. And once you're in there, you sign up to the Sydney Scheinberg level. There's a bunch of different levels. Dave, what are some of the other levels and rewards or things you can get for being a supporter?
Wow, honestly, there's quite a few. We put out 3 bonus episodes per month. We put out an episode of Phrasing the Bar, our Brendan Fraser-themed podcast. We put out a bonus mini report every single month, and also another episode. Sometimes it's a quiz, sometimes it's a little Q&A, all sorts of stuff in there. And also you get tickets to shows and live streams before anyone else does. You get discounts on those things as well. You can be in our Facebook group, which is just for Patreon supporters. Very lovely place on the internet. And we put out a newsletter, all sorts of stuff. And also many, many shout outs, which you're about to hear a few of.
And and all of that goes towards keeping this show running, our great supporters. The reason we do this bloody show. So we really, really appreciate everyone.
That's the only way that we're able to talk about stuff from the Sydney Olympics 6 years on. It's the only way.
I'll never stop talking about the Sydney Olympics.
I love your enthusiasm for it, Jess. It's
fucking
infectious because honestly, it was a huge time in Aussie culture. So
yeah,
awesome.
Absolutely it was.
So for this first part, it's the fact, quote, or question section where people get to give us a fact, a quote, or a question. They also get to give themselves a title, and I read it out on the show for the first time. So sometimes they mess with me. Let's see if they've done it here. First one up, we've got Jacob Giron, or Giron, perhaps, who's given himself the title of lead detective on the case of Matt's Auburn locks.
Oh, okay. I think it's a pretty easy case. Genetics.
No, I reckon that's a full task force dedicated to that mystery.
I like how he said Auburn. I never know what colour hair to say. I say red, but it has sort of dulled over the years. My beard hair is still bright red, but my head hair
is dulled. It's not dull. It's darkened.
It's darkened. It's got a bit.
It
mousy.
Is Auburn. It is a bit Auburn.
But Auburn feels good. I like Auburn.
But the beard really throws people off because it is very red.
Yeah, flaming.
I'm starting to understand why we needed someone dedicated to cracking open this case.
Yeah, I thought it was open and shut, and I was wrong.
So Jacob asked the question: if you could have any celebrity on the pod, who would it be?
Cathy Freeman.
Oh, that would be awesome, actually. Oh, okay, who's a good celeb?
Yeah, and I wonder, should we be thinking of ones we've had on in the past with a story or
Dolly Parton?
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
I would love to have a chat to Dolly Parton.
Oh, that'd be good. Marie Curie, so we could ask, did you invent penicillin? Did you? Was it you?
Tell me.
The celebrity, Marie Curie.
That's
famous?
That's the nerd's answer to this question. Sorry about that.
I'm trying to think of a celebrity. I'm going to quickly Google celebrity.
Oh,
okay,
dear.
Great. Take your pick.
You can't even think of a celebrity.
Celebrity.
Think of a famous person, a Kardashian.
Yeah, Matt knows them all, I'm sure.
Kendall?
Kendall, that's quite good.
Okay.
That's quite good, that is.
So, on the celebrity Wikipedia page, the first picture is of Andy Warhol.
Get Andy Warhol. Would you have him on?
Absolutely, I would.
Oh, because of he coined the phrase 15 minutes of fame. That makes sense.
Did he?
David Letterman's there. He'd be great to have on.
What phrase did he coin?
Doesn't have any phrases coined by him.
Take it away,
LeBron
Paul.
James. Oh, Kim Kardashian's there, Jess.
Yeah, she's a celebrity.
Paris Hilton. They've got the House of Windsor. There are all the photos they've got on the... Of those, I'll choose David Letterman, please.
Okay.
I'll take LeBron.
Great.
And Jess, who are you taking from that list?
Oh, from that list?
Sorry.
No, she already picked Dolly. Don't make her take it back.
Dolly. It's got to be Dolly.
But yeah, Cathy Freeman I'd love to hear the inside scoop. Thank you so much for that question, Jacob. The next one comes from Carolyn Slater, who's given herself the title of sausage roll maker, but willing to give pies a crack for Dave's sake.
Thank you so much.
I've always
That's
been more
nice.
of a roll man myself.
Well, I wish you were there yesterday when there's a fantastic bakery near where I work, and I went down. They sell out every day, so you got to get there at a certain time.
They should make more stuff.
Oh, honestly, I get furious sometimes. I've been there at 11:55 a.m., not even midday, and they're sold out of pies. Unbelievable.
That's ridiculous.
Are they making 3 pies a day?
I think so, and I'm trying to buy them all. Yesterday, I'm sent down to buy 3 pies, 1 for myself, 2 for colleagues. I get there. There's only 2 pies and 1 sausage roll left. I come back.
Did you fall
and I
on
have
your
to,
roll?
Oh, I have to be like, which one do you want? No, I'll have anything. You'll take the sausage roll. No worries. Just hand it to them really quickly.
Okay, not following you,
Yeah,
mate.
that's great. No,
That was
sure.
always my Friday tuck shop was a sausage roll with sauce and a strawberry Big M.
Yes.
That's a good combo.
Yes, Matt. You and I, kindred spirits.
So we've only got to Carolyn's title, but she's
Great
also
title.
offered us a quote, and here it is. Carolyn writes, "This is a quote from artist Lisa Congdon, who is an amazing illustrator from the United States. It consists of 4 statements that you may have read in other contexts or phrased differently by other people. I like these a lot. Thanks, Carolyn. All right, here we go. Number 1, you cannot and will not please everyone. That is a fact of life. Number 2, by taking care of your own needs, you will sometimes disappoint or even anger other people. Number 3, how other people react to your choice is not your responsibility. And number 4, the greatest responsibility you have is to your own well-being and happiness."
Disagree with all of those. My happiness, very much the responsibility of other people.
Yeah,
No, those are all good things to remember, but very hard to do so.
Yeah, I like them too. I feel like I'd put a 5th one in there going, still care about other people a bit. It is like 4 ways to make it all about you. But it is, being a bit facetious there, but they do sound like some good things to think about though. Lisa Congdon, familiar with her work?
No.
Great name.
Condon. Are we?
Cong, Congdon.
I'm on board now. I thought it was 1 letter away from condom, but we're back in the game.
It's 2 letters away.
Yeah, exactly. 2 letters, 2 steps. It's fine, Lisa.
It's all right. I'll allow it.
Very bright and colourful stuff coming up. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing.
I'm all about big, colourful art.
Then you would love Andy Warhol.
Yeah, I like some of this stuff. Looks like good wrapping paper designs,
Oh.
or like rugs or
Oh.
something like that.
Okay.
Man, that is not a compliment to an artist, is it? I take both of those back. It looks great.
I'd have a rug of that.
I reckon wrapping paper's more offensive. I'd rip that open.
There's a big, I like that sort of stuff. Good stuff. Love your work there, Lisa Congdon, if you are listening. Thank you so much for that quote, Carolyn. Next one comes from Braden Douglas. He's given himself the title of Brevity Boy. Ooh, this sounds like a snappy one coming up. Braden's offered us a quote, and that quote is, to make up for that half-hour-long submarine fact. Oh, remember that submarine fact? It was quite a mini report in itself. A few
Who could
months back.
forget?
I think I've repressed it. I do not remember it at
It
all.
was about camouflage. Anyway, Braden is making up for that long one with a short one here today, and that is, brevity is the soul of wit. You know who said that?
Falstaff.
Lisa Congdon.
Shakespeare.
Is it? Yeah, I think it's Jack Falstaff.
Oh, who's that?
Is that right?
Is he a character? Is he
Oh,
a
it's not
Shakespeare
weird,
character?
actually. No, I'm thinking of brevity is.
Brevity is. Now that is what it is.
That's good. That is good.
Brevity is. Can I be quoted as that?
Yes. Can I put that on your tombstone?
No, I'm thinking of the Falstaff quote, discretion is the better part of valor.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
Soul of wit.
Dave, are you admitting you fucked up?
Yeah, fuck yeah, I am. It is from Hamlet, Act 2, Scene 2. Who could forget?
You apparently. Yeah, who could forget? You just did, fuckhead, in front of everyone.
Dave, did you think we'd forgotten what happened 30 seconds earlier?
Look, I was making fun of myself there, I'll be honest.
Okay, well, that's good stuff.
Let me be brief.
All right, and finally, we've got Vincenzo Bonadonna,
Oh,
Vinny!
who's given himself the title of I'm actually that Italian greyhound that Jess knows. Shout out to all the puppers.
Vincenzo! My former neighbour who I miss every day. Not dead, they just moved.
oh, to the farm?
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you dog
having a good
owners
time.
is this still a thing where you say doggos and puppers?
I don't personally, but a lot of people do, yes.
Well, I'm still waiting it out. I might get a dog once
Dave
that's
says
over.
papa. Dave says papa. Don't you, Dave?
pup. I think I say pup.
No, you just say pup.
My pup.
You just say pup. You call all dogs pup, and I
Yeah,
like that very
but
much.
sometimes that doesn't go so well at the park when I say, oh, what's your pup's name? And they look at me and go, it's not a pup. It's 5 years old. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm saying what's your dog's name, mate? Come on. Fucking hell.
It's kind of like,
Keep up.
even though we're adults now, we're always our parents' children.
That's right.
you
The
know?
kids.
Yeah.
Exactly. They still see us as their
My
kids.
children are not actually goats. They sound like every time I hear more about people at the dog park, I think, geez, they sound like fun, don't they?
Well,
You do meet some people where you're like, oh, I hope we don't run into you that often. And
unfortunately-
then other people, you're like,
yeah.
you're the best.
Right, okay.
unfortunately, you don't get a license to get a dog. Unfortunately, only cool people, in my opinion, should get them. But
Then I would not qualify.
no, you're all right. You wouldn't correct me on how old your dog is.
No, I'd just tell you.
S-
You'd say, how old's your pup? And I'd say, this age. And you go, cool,
Nice.
Cool.
whatever.
This week we rounded out the big three, the fact, quote, or question. Again, Vincenzo's given us a fact here. And it reads thusly. I would like to share a podcast with y'all. I
Oh,
hope I'm pronouncing that right.
I don't like podcasts.
Not for me.
No, thank you.
A friend of mine who is a musician started a podcast called the Sing Along Podcast. It's run by Casey from the band Second Echo. I live in Las Vegas. This is still Vincenzo talking, not me. I live in Las Vegas, and the podcast has introduced me to good artists in the local scene, and I want to share it with all the people in this network. If you want to check it out, I give it a big recommendation. Thank you three for being a great reason to be excited each Wednesday morning. Keep up the fantastic work, and thank you for letting me share with y'all.
That's nice.
bummer.
Anya Vincenzo,
That's lovely.
what a fact! I
And
did
what-
not know
Yeah,
that
good on
fact
ya.
before.
What was the podcast called? The Sing Along Podcast. Good title.
Sing along, yeah, the Sing Along Podcast.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like that a lot.
All right, they're the facts, the quotes, and the questions. Now we'd like to thank a few of our other great Patreon supporters. Normally Jess comes up with a game to do with the topic we just had.
I was thinking of coming up with their new Olympic sports, like car high jump.
Okay, what they're gold medalists in.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, well, may I kick it off?
Yes.
Well, I would love to thank, firstly, from London in Great Britain, a place we really love getting to. Hopefully we can do so again one day. I'd love to thank Kristen Thorley.
Kristen is a gold medalist in something parkour.
Cup of tea.
Dog parkour.
Okay. Did you say dog?
Okay. Does that mean
Dog.
the dogs do the parkour or you do parkour on the dog?
What you do is you do parkour in a dog costume,
Oh,
That's
fun.
even better.
thus limiting some of your movement. You know?
I love that.
It's really cute.
Love that very much. And congratulations on the gold medal, Kristen.
Huge.
Yeah.
I'd also love to thank from Lutz in Florida in the United States, Marcus Smith. Lutz. Made me think of Lionel Hutz. Dave, can you do anything
Okay.
with that?
Okay. What about advanced cobbling? So shoe repair. Gold medal in shoe repair.
Advanced
Wow.
cobbling. What
Advanced
about
cobbling.
extreme
Speed cobbling. It's in the speed
Okay, advanced
and the accuracy.
Advanced speed cobbling.
Oh, that's the kind of thing that is, you get accolades for, but it's also a handy skill to have at home.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
You could cobble together anything.
We
Or
can
is it just shoes?
Couple a pair out of anything.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Marcus. And finally, from me, I'd love to thank from address unknown, return to sender. It's Sarah Karbar.
Oh, the Fortress of the Moles, perhaps?
Could be.
Oh, can only assume. Yes.
Kabor.
And it's
Kabar. Kaboo.
Kabar. I reckon Sarah Kaboff.
Oh,
Which is
Kabor.
another option. Is a world champion digger.
Whoa. Digging
Just
a
good
big
at digging
hole.
holes.
Big holes or
Digs.
quick holes? Lots of holes.
Well, there's a couple of different events within. It's sort of like, being like, oh, she's good at athletics. Like, what event? So within digging, there's either like how fast, how wide.
Wow.
Yep.
What about how long? Is that a matter?
Yes.
Is that a matter of perspective?
That's
it
actually
is.
more ditching, Dave.
Yeah. Ditching is it's a different event. Yeah. But you're getting it.
Gold medal in ditching. I like it. Do not make plans with that person.
I'll ditch anything.
Can I thank some people as
I
well?
love that
Easy.
so much.
I would love to thank from Auckland, where Cathy won her first Commonwealth gold medal.
Oh, cool.
Recently named
to
the most livable city in the world.
Was it?
Yeah.
Damn, we had that title for a bit,
Oh,
didn't
we've
we?
slipped down the list. I think
COVID
are we
hurt us
eighth?
a bit, but
Yeah, a little bit.
no, 8th or 9th, yeah.
Yeah.
What? Just because we went into several lockdowns?
Adelaide's number 3, I think.
Fuck off!
Yeah.
It's so boring.
No, I love
I'm
Adelaide.
sorry.
I
I
love
get
Adelaide.
told off for bagging out
Adelaide's
Adelaide.
lovely.
I was just there. It's beautiful.
I think
beautiful place.
it's the kind of award the massive cities of the world never win this because they got so much traffic and pollution, all these
Yeah.
sort of things. It's for like the slightly smaller big cities is the ones who win it. So it always felt like Sydney hasn't been up there that high in Australia for a while because it's so big and that sort of stuff. That's where Melbourne comes up. Melbourne will start slipping down. Adelaide and Brisbane come up. I think that's how it'll go.
Who cares? We're talking about Auckland, and from Auckland, I would love to thank Ellen Gibbs.
What about a gold medal for feet archery?
Oh,
Feet archery.
Farchery.
Archery. Bullseye.
No, not to be confused with farchery, please. Different
That is
sport.
We have to
That is
fart
different.
arrows into a.
You have to fart very accurately.
Yeah, but you put a little poop chute in your butt, like a straw sort of device,
Yeah.
and you have to give it all you got.
Got to eat a lot of beans.
Well, I'll
Dave.
tick that off. Yep.
Dave would be a master.
I had a half a can
Master
for
blaster.
breakfast. Ready to go. I'm going for the brown medal.
It's a callback to a Phrasing the Bar episode from a little while back.
That's funny.
Which also, actually,
also-
that riff about the brown medal came about from a discussion on the Barcelona Olympics.
I don't remember that.
Oh, we were.
Oh, is this when I was like 15
Yeah,
minutes
we
late?
were talking shit while you were on your way. I can't remember what movie was that, Dave or Jess. I think it was the one where he played his own twin.
Yeah. Mrs. Winterbourne?
Mrs. Winterbourne,
Oh,
I reckon it was
fantastic.
that
Great
one.
work. That was it.
Yeah.
With Ricky Lake.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, thank you to Ellen Gibbs. I would also love to thank from Bakersfield in California.
No, that's different.
Love to thank, Ashley C. Baker from
Oh.
Bakersfield.
What?
Is that nominative
She's
determinism?
a gold medalist. Yes, I was going to say she's a gold medalist in nominative determinism.
Brilliant. You both went there. I wasn't there, so gold medals to you as well.
I'm slowly reclining. I'm on my bed and I'm almost in lying position now. This is a real relaxed segment of the show.
It's okay. We're getting there.
Jess and I are on desks at home, but you've got your microphone. You've just gone handheld this whole time.
That's bold.
Mate,
that right there is bold.
You need a Madonna headset mic. That's what you need.
Oh, that would have been fantastic.
Yes. Can we get those? That'd be sick. That's all I need. I've got a standing desk at home now. If I could have a Madonna mic, I will be unstoppable.
You go for Jess.
Yeah, I could do the podcast. I'll get a little treadmill underneath my standing desk. Oh my God. I'm training for the Olympics. So Ashley C. Baker, we're going for she's a gold medalist in nominative determinism.
Yeah,
I like it.
I like it a lot.
Great.
Alex C. Baker, Alex Do Baker.
Ashley C. Baker. It's in front of you, you fuckhead.
Damn it.
Finally, for me, I would love to thank from San Diego, Aaron Stossel.
What about gold medal in fastest time to stock an entire vending machine?
Holy shit, it's completely empty?
It's completely empty, and you've got drinks,
Whoa.
you've got snacks, you've got those weird little nut things that no one wants to buy all in there.
Wow. What do you think would be the hardest thing to stack into a vending machine?
Sex robot.
Great point. Great point.
I imagine they've made it happen somewhere, but
Japan, probably. They got everything in vending
Yeah, they
machines
love a
there. It's
vending
amazing.
yeah, I remember a friend came back from there. We were in our early 20s, like, there's beer in vending machines in Japan. Couldn't believe
Everyone's
it.
like, what?
So excited to tell me.
He came home to tell you.
Yeah, cut his trip short.
Came home early, I got to tell you. Dave, would you like to thank some people
Oh, fantastic. I was just trying to count if it was up to me yet. Thank you so much to all the people so far, but let's keep it going. From Basildon in Great Britain. Oh, love that. Basildon. Sean Benson.
Sean Benson.
Benson and Hedges, he's a gold medalist at chain smoking. It was an event in the 70s, and then they went, this is bad. So it's not there anymore. It has been replaced by skateboarding, which is now
Equally
an
as
Olympic
dangerous.
They were a big,
and gnarly.
I think they were a big cricket sponsor in the 90s, Benson and Hedges. That's all I associate it with. Benson and Hedges Cup or something. Yeah.
I didn't know that. There you go.
Well, you're not as old as the wind.
I create my own.
Thank you, Sean. From Epsom in Victoria, I would like to thank Rebecca Fisher.
Rebecca Fisher. Well, there's an obvious one there. She is a Beck Judd merch collector.
Yes.
A gold medal in collecting Beck Judd merch.
That's probably the one we're all thinking.
Yes.
What sort of
yes.
just for someone who might not know what sort of merch Beck Judd has? What's her latest line got?
Well, you would know better than me. Didn't she make news when she was like selling T-shirts saying, complaining about lockdown or something?
Yeah. Lockdown in her fucking mansion.
Oh no.
With a pool and a tennis court and oh no. I'm stuck in my gigantic house.
I do want to get locked down in that house.
I'd get locked down in that house tomorrow. And we come out of lockdown tomorrow.
But it's all, I guess
put me back in.
It's all relative, right? If you're used to being able to be in there and anywhere else, then that would be a pain. But it was
Matt, don't sympathise.
It seemed like it wasn't quite reading the room at the time where everyone's locked down in their little places when you're going.
Yes.
Yeah, anyway, good on her.
I'm in my 1-bedroom apartment. Yeah, nah.
Well, still, a gold medal must go to Rebecca Fisher for collecting all that merchandise, and I assume putting it in a bin. Thank you so much, Rebecca, taking it away from everyone. And finally, I would like to thank from, I don't know this place, Waniasa in the Australian Capital Territory, Garth Van Dorn.
Oh, that's a fantastic name.
And if the R in the end...
Garth Van Dorn's name gave me a Garth Van Horn.
And I'm looking at it with quite small font here, Matt. And the R and the N seem to run together. So I first thought it was going to be Garth Van Doom. And I thought that
also good.
That's the coolest name I've ever heard. Garth Van Doom.
Should we get Garth to change his name, do you reckon?
I reckon.
Dave, if you ever do a sequel to your book, One Death, Two Murderers, you should get Garth Van Doom in there.
Oh, that's going to be the bad guy.
Because I think people did request it, I'm sure, that they want you to write a new story for a Patreon bonus episode.
Well, what have I told you? That I was clearing out stuff recently, and I found not a sequel, but another book that a young David Warnocky wrote. This one
No.
in grade 3 called Crusher.
Wait, who's
The Nick
David
Cody story.
Warnocky?
It's David Warnocky.
Hang on a second.
That was my pen name is David Warnocky. They'll never guess. They'll never guess.
Oh, that's
So-
exciting.
Wow, there's another one. When was the first one written?
Oh, that was grade 6, so this is 3
Oh.
years worse than that. Can you
Wow,
imagine?
3 years worse. I was going to be nice and say 3 years earlier, but
Nah.
3 years worse is probably
I'd love
quite
you to
accurate,
write an
yes.
update, though, Dave. You got to write Garth Van Doom into the story.
Garth Van Doom. Please, someone remind me of that. I need to remember that name. Garth Van
So
Doom,
good.
Garth Van Dorn. All right, he is the Olympic gold medalist in. What are we thinking?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we hadn't
I
even come
thought
up
you
with
were,
something
I thought
yet.
you were working towards something there, but you were inviting help. What about truck conversions?
Oh,
So he
Okay.
converts
Into
trucks into moving homes.
oh, love that.
Wow, truck.
Tiny
Tiny
homes?
homes, yeah. At
Love
first I was
that.
thinking like Transformers, but I thought that might have been difficult. So
He converts trucks into killer robots.
so depending on how much your budget is, he does one or the other.
No, I love that. Like everyone goes to the Olympics and everyone's got these beautiful tiny homes, but Garth Van Dorn's just come along with Optimus Prime, and they're like, "Give that man the medal."
Can't compete with
He
that.
didn't, I mean, it's not quite what we were going for, but it is very impressive.
That's very creative, and honestly, you haven't broken any rules, so here you go.
Yeah.
Also-
nobody wrote into the rule book that it couldn't be a transformer, so you got us on a
Also, it looks
technicality.
like-
But we will write that in for next
Your
year.
robot looks like it could kill us if we don't give you the gold medal, so we're going to give it to you.
It's looking at us with its
Your
red
robot
eyes.
is pointing a gun. Yeah. That's awesome. Congratulations, Garth. Huge.
Well, that leaves us with nothing else to do but thank some of our great long-term supporters. We've opened up the Triptych Club a little while back for supporters who are on board from the shout-out level for 3 straight years. We invite them into the Triptych Club. It's a beautiful little spot. It's both in your mind, but it's a real place as well in my heart. And in it, there's booths, there's a bar, there's like a spa area where you can get massages.
Oh yeah.
There's like a volleyball field. What else is in there, Jess?
Were you thinking foosball or full volleyball field?
Full volleyball field. And foosball as well.
There's a
There's
helipad.
a helipad, yeah, if you want to fly in.
And so anything you can imagine.
Yeah,
really,
anything
we've
we
got
can imagine so far. Not that much, but anything you can imagine is.
Transformers.
And so
Okay, we're pretty
if you
imaginative.
support us for that period, you're in, and you're in for life. I'm standing on the door. I've got the guest list in my hot little hand. I'm ready to tick your names off as you're welcomed in. Dave will hype you up, and then Jess will hype Dave up because every hype man needs a hype woman or something like that. Jess, you normally come up with a special cocktail.
Yes, well, to go with the colour scheme of the Australian Olympic team and also Cathy's Swift suit, everything is gold and yellow. So drink-wise, it will be Maduri-based cocktails.
Love it.
Food-wise, you're thinking broccoli, mango, peas, lemon,
Bowl of peas.
okay? Bowl of peas if you want it. Yeah, so
exciting.
just anything green and yellow we've got covered.
Yeah, just for the confused listeners, what Jess said, yellow and gold. There's green in there as well.
Did I say yellow
Yeah.
and gold? I really need to pee and it's
You're
affecting my
thinking
brain.
everything in yellow.
Just need to pee.
You got yellow on the mind.
Yeah.
All right, quickly, Dave, who's the band? Let's get Jess to that toilet.
We've got Tina Arena covering the music of Cheap Trick.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, great.
Look forward
stuff.
to that.
I can't remember their
Will she
songs.
do Chains?
Are they Dream Police? No, I always get confused with those old bands.
Oh, but I thought it'd just be right in your wheelhouse.
No, this is not in my wheelhouse. Cheap
All right.
Trick.
People also ask, what's Cheap Trick's biggest hit? I Want You to Want Me.
Oh, yep.
Ah.
Remember that one?
And
Covered
The Flame.
for, I think it was covered by a ska band or a pop ska band for,
Letters to Cleo.
Oh, right. What was the movie?
10 Things I Hate About You.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
I think it was Let Us Declare. Please don't at me if I'm wrong. Just don't. I can't
Honestly,
handle
at
it.
her. She needs to know.
No, don't.
All right, there's quite a few inductees this week, so I think we're going to hit
so
it with
many.
a real great pace.
Oh,
you ready,
gosh.
Dave? To
Dave, there's like
Pipe some
16,
of these
so
in.
I'll let's do one each. We'll back
All
and
right,
forth.
Okay, thanks so much. I appreciate that a lot. I
back
really
and
do.
forth. All right, first up from Rawlins in Wyoming in the United States, it's Jacob Vallow.
Ooh, keep rolling, rolling, rolling. Yeah.
Yes. I was going to say Vallow.
That's good. Keep Vallow and keep rolling, rolling, rolling.
From Pflugerville in Texas, the United States, it's John Paul Mabachu.
Well, I'm all about you, and I want to get to know you a little better. Come on in.
Incredible.
From London in Great Britain, it's Alexander Jan Mohammed.
Jahadmed at hello. Like you had me at hello. Is that kind of something?
Yeah, that's something, yes. We've got so many. Just
From
keep going.
Rhodes in New South Wales, Australia, it's Kayla Atkins.
Well, I'm on the Atkin diet of you.
Yeah, you're on fire.
I'm gonna eat you.
You are on fire.
From address unknown, return to sender, it's Alistair McGregor.
LS, dare you? Hold on. Dare, some sort of dare.
Yeah.
Dare,
Yeah, it's good.
Alistair wins. Who dares wins? Who Alistair wins? Yes, there it is. There it is.
Yes.
Well, let me try.
There it is.
Who
Who
Alistair
Alistair
wins?
From
Yes.
Truro in Cornwall, Great Britain, it's Nick Lean.
Lean on me, Nick Lean.
Yes, gosh, you're good tonight.
Come on
From
in.
Everett in Washington, I think, in the United States, it's Richard Compo.
Oh, you've got all the Comp O tickets you want tonight, my friend.
Yeah, bring a friend if you want.
From
Why the hell not?
Perth in Western Australia, it's Jessica Banazak. Or Banazak.
And I am banner sack about you.
Okay, you're going to have to explain that one.
Like bananas. I'm bananas about
Okay.
you.
Love it. I didn't get it, but I was just there for you.
Thank you. That's all you have to do, Dave.
From Hampton East in Victoria, Australia, it's Adam Tregear.
Thank God you're Tregear.
Yes. Woo! Get your ass in Tregear.
Yes. All right.
That one made more sense. From Chardon.
Thank God you're here. Thank God you're here. You got that right.
I
Thank
got
God you're
it.
Tregear.
I don't know if
It was
international
amazing. It was
listeners
amazing.
will get the reference to a 15-year-old Australian comedy, but from Chardon in Ohio, United States, it's Glenn Mitchell.
Well, shard on me and come on in, Glenn
I
Mitchell.
was going to say, do Chardon.
Fuck. That's
Shard
much
on
better.
me.
That's honestly.
Was that meant to be pardon me? Because it sounds like
Yes.
like shit
Shart
shart on
on
me.
me.
Shut on me.
Okay, Dave was better.
Oh, no, Jess, you have been at a 99% hit rate this week. I've got to say, you're on fire.
Thank you so much. Let's
From
keep going.
Red Lion in Pennsylvania, the United States, it's Luke Harbour.
Ooh, I'd be Red Lion if I didn't say I was excited to see you.
Yes. Yes.
From Yokine in Western Australia, it's Andrew Martin.
Oh, we need something about your kind.
What about you're too kind?
Yes, you're too kind, Andrew Martin.
Yeah, there it is.
I don't think that is where it is, but we're
Oh,
getting
I
there.
love this next place, Clarencetown. You know, my
Oh.
uncle uses that as a shorthand for the C-bomb, Clarence Hunt. These Clarence, Clarencetown. From Clarencetown in New South Wales, Australia, it's Joanna Wade.
You Anna no Clarence. Something like you ain't no Clarence. Or we've been wading through some people tonight, but I am stoked to have you here more than anyone so far. Something like that.
You Joanna made my day.
Yes, there it is. Delete the rest. Love that.
From Kingsford in New South Wales, Australia, it's Eric S. Lee.
And I am.
Something on King.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. The King. You are driving the King's Ford. His car.
Wow.
You're a chauffeur to the King.
Yeah, of course he is. Of course he got a chauffeur.
From Perth in let me
Perth?
just double check.
Oh,
That's
no.
the Australian. No, it's from Perth in Great Britain. In Scotland, it's Christopher Skilling.
Wow. You have got the skills, my friend. You've got the skills.
Yes. Christopher Skilling.
And
always upskilling. He is
always upskilling.
we've
Love
lost
that.
momentum. Let's hit this last one hard. We're from Pierre in South Dakota in the United States. It's Alan Harstad. Come on, you used to do this so quick.
Okay, you have a go then.
It's not so hard, Stad. Alan's the easiest, Stad. He's the best. Good on you. Welcome in, my man.
Yes, Alan.
The beauty of it used to be Dave didn't think and he'd say something awful. You guys are now trying to be too good at it.
Oh,
Okay, that was like 16 of them. That was hard.
Yeah.
You do
No, it's
lose a
true.
bit of the
That is true.
momentum.
I'll give you notes off pod like normal, so we don't have to do it here.
We get berated.
Yeah.
What were you
Weekly.
thinking? You embarrassed me out there tonight.
Well, that brings us to the end of the episode. What a fun time we've had, hopefully.
Hopefully we've had some fun
I mean,
here.
at least I've had fun.
I've had a mildly good time.
Well, I enjoyed your report. I enjoyed you reading out those names, Matt. And I think it's safe to say that Jess and I get the gold medal for those shout outs at the end.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Uh,
That was an endurance race.
Thanks so
That's
much
exactly.
to all the names we read out in the second half of the show. Honestly, keep the show running. You're the best. Love you all individually and uniquely.
And if people want to join that list of fantastic names, you can go to patreon.com/dogoonpod or just dogoonpod.com. We can also find links to our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, our email, dogoonpod@gmail.com, our YouTube channel. And we should also say that the episodes we filmed live in Melbourne back in April and May March and April, I should say, are available at sospresents.com, and there's a link in the description of this episode, and you get to see and hear stuff that people didn't hear on the normal episodes, as well as a little bit of bonus content at the end of each of those. A lot of fun.
Big shout out to great listener and friend of the show, Vincent Chen, for editing that package together. Yeah, really good stuff.
You made us look good, Vinny. We appreciate it.
Or as good as you could.
Love you, Vinny. Yeah. You did good stuff with what you were given.
Comparatively good to us.
Yeah. We are dog shit people, so well done.
But yeah, we'll be back next week with another episode. But until then, we'll say thanks for listening, and I'll say goodbye.
Laters.